Hello?
Beep, beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. Frog in throat. How are you? Good to see you. Speak to you. Whatever it is. Who cares? Important announcement. Dr. P is doing a brilliant series of tweets. I'll put the link down into the Dubris for you. On the WPATH files. Very, very well worth reading. An analysis, a step-by-step analysis of all of it. So it's going to be a real mammoth tweet thread. But you'll be able to engage with it and get some feedback from Dr. P on what the WPATH files actually mean. So please do go and have a look at that. We're going to stay in the world of the medical today, as I have an article for you from Jennifer Lowell and Callie Fell on the Substack, Reality's Last Stand. Something well worth taking a look at today. This is talking about the problems we've got with the implementation of the queering of medicine. The queering of medicine. So the thing is entitled, Is There a Doctor in the House? Querying the medical ethics of pregnancy to problematize a desire for normal fetal outcomes is an abandonment of evidence-based medicine and the principle of do no harm. So what they're saying is, and this is from July 2023, just so you know, but it's something important I missed. What they're saying is that this is on the back of some reprobate that said that these LARPing women who are taking testosterone should keep taking it during pregnancy, regardless of the fact that the damage to the baby could be horrendous. I mean, this is the queering of medicine to actually turning it into the opposite, which of course then is experimentation, and in this case, on an unborn fetus. Unforgivable. In recent years, a striking paradigm shift in medical ethics has emerged, driven by progressive political ideologies purporting to champion social justice. This is the critical social justice nuttery that we see elsewhere and is connected to the things that many of you, particularly the women who've been involved in this for so long, are concerned about. Critical social justice. This shift has precipitated a surge in initiatives centered around diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI. The resulting effects have varied considerably. They include the introduction of explicit racial bias in treatment protocols in a quest for what they call health equity. Well, any kind of equity ends up murderous, so I wouldn't bother. It either murders your soul or it murders your body. Either way, it's going to end up with that. And an unsettling disregard for biological sex is an important variable in both medical research and patient care. It's the only variable, really, isn't it? You're a man or a woman. It sort of starts there, doesn't it? Starts there, really. Instead, the new radical movement favours categorising individuals based on their self-identified and medically irrelevant gender identity. Doesn't exist, see? Even more alarmingly, we are witnessing a direct assault on the language associated with women's health in medicine. Terms traditionally used in clinical settings, such as mothers, are being replaced with neutral alternatives like birthing parents. Similarly, the term woman is frequently substituted with individuals with a cervix. Even though nearly half of women don't know what a cervix is, and such language may therefore cause a significant number of women to forego important routine cervical screenings. We've seen some disasters around this. The story of the woman who thought she was a man, went into A&E and was suffering with stomach pains, which people didn't pay attention to because they didn't know that she was female, because she was LARPing as a bloke. And it cost her her life and the life of the baby. It's horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. This infiltration in medical and legal, which I think is the two biggest, there's three. Medical, legal, education. There's the three biggies. I think corporations can funny about all they like, but they'll eventually come round. But medical, legal, and education, we've got a real damn problem, recognised here in this article. This trend of overlooking biological sex as a critical medical variable stems from an ideological drive to queer the natural world. The proponents of this view resist categorization, arguing that such practices are instruments of oppression wielded by the powerful against the less powerful. According to this perspective, medicine must eschew not only biological categorization of patients, but also traditional notions of what is deemed desirable or adverse patient outcomes. You'd have to think that, wouldn't you, in order to do what they'd want to do to a baby with a woman that's LARPing as a man taking testosterone. These ideological shifts have raised substantial concerns regarding potential harm that such denial of biological realities could inflict on patients. However, recent academic discourse has escalated these concerns to a new level. A provocative new paper in the journal Qualitative Research in Health titled Medical Uncertainty and Reproduction of the Normal, Decision-Making Around Testosterone Therapy in Transgender Pregnancy by Pfeffer and colleagues propels us further down the road of medical malpractice. This is back to what I just mentioned about using it when you're pregnant. If you've got gender dysphoria and you're so lunacy, you're so full of lunacy that you think you're the opposite sex, you think getting pregnant would be the only thing you wouldn't want to do as a woman, wouldn't you? Doesn't make sense, any of this. It's all just performative nonsense. They've all got a touch of butleritis. Butleritis, that needs to be a thing. You have Judith's butleritis. And the recovery is very hard. What do I have to do? Grow your hair and change your clothes. I make light of it, but it's serious. The authors argue, right, that things should... The authors, a group of transgender sociologists and enthusiasts, oh God, it's so grinding, isn't it? And healthcare activists with not one medical degree among them, argue to dramatically move the goalposts of medical ethics, choosing to completely disregard the health, safety and well-being of the developing fetus, all in the name of trans inclusion. Abiding by their paper's guidance would land us in a vacuum devoid of medical ethics and a seismic shift away from the importance of scientific research and medical evidence in favour of activist-directed healthcare. It's from July. I missed it, but I'm glad that we've got it here now. And thank you to the authors of that particular piece. There's much more to it. I suggest you go and read it. When are we going to get this? When are we going to get this? These people are a danger to our society, whether we like it or not. Now, they get upset when people say that. But Helen Joyce, wasn't it, said recently something about, they're just a problem. They end up being a problem, full stop. Well, they are. Just a problem, full stop. That's why it's very important that we've got to end all this, and that this idea of a trans person or a non-binary person or whatever made-up sexuality they've chosen today, I'm arboreal sexual, I like to rub my knob up against a tree, or whatever it may be. I don't care for any of it. And it all needs to go, because when it starts to interfere with medicine and STEM and education and the law, we know that we're in real trouble. We've got a lot of work to do, folks. A lot of work to do to eradicate this stuff. And we're going to have to push back. And there's going to be a price to pay for that. Somebody said to me the other day, I can't speak up because of work. And I'm like, right, okay, where do you live? And it was a very affluent area. And I said, how much is your house worth? 1.5 million. Downsize. That's the price. Yeah, but I don't want to lose my home. It's the price. It's the price. I got no mortgage either. It's like, downsize or get some people in. Do something. Well, it's so they've got the money to be able to do it. They just won't do it. That's outrageous. If you're an independent individual, in terms of you don't need money from anybody else, you may be retired or whatever it may be, then there's only one price that you pay, which is the friends you thought you had. And I say thought for a real reason. But that's hard. I know it's hard. I know it's really hard. But they're talking about damaging the fetus to make the lunatic parent happy. The mother. The lunatic mother who thinks she's a man should be placed before the importance of the medical outcomes of pregnancy. I can't get my head around that. But there you go. They get more nutty as the days go on, don't they? I'll see you later. Go well. Become a warrior teacher, why don't you?